Hello and welcome to opening trap number 10. My name is Mauri. Today we're going to be looking at Teed's trick. I often tell my students to be careful with their pawn moves in the opening and not to make too many of those. Also, think about which pawns you're moving. For example, moving the F, G and H pawns can be very dangerous and can backfire quite quickly, as we'll see in today's game. Instead, pushing your center pawns that I'm highlighting here in green color is more recommended. Let's see what's going to happen in the game that was played in New York in 1896 between Frank Melville Teed and Eugene Delmar. After d4, f5, we have the so-called Dutch defense played by black, which has the drawback of already weakening the black king. We'll see how that's gonna help white win this game very quickly. The whole game was very short actually. White played bishop g5, hoping to provoke black into trying to trap that bishop, and black did indeed do that. He played h6, bishop f4, g5, so exactly what white wants. Black is trying to trap this bishop, and white played bishop g3, allowing the bishop to be trapped. After f4, the bishop is trapped, but white is the one who's going to be smiling at the end, as we'll see soon. A better move from black here would have been, for example, d6 or knight f6. After f4, white played e3. And what's going to happen if black takes the bishop? Well, then we'll have a very quick end to the game with queen h5, which is checkmate. Black didn't take the bishop. Instead, he saw that the checkmate was threatened and stopped it with h5. And now white played bishop d3, which renews the threat of checkmate. So the threat now is to play bishop g6, which would be checkmate. Incidentally, the computers of today, they recommend bishop e2 as an even stronger move. And now again, black saw that checkmate was being threatened and stopped it with the move rook h6. That is a mistake, however, because now white does actually have a forced checkmate in two moves. A better move here would have been again d6. After rook h6, now we'll see a beautiful tactic and a sacrifice. The tactic is called deflection, which is when, in this case, a black piece is defending a very important square, but then is forced away. And that piece is the rook on h6, which is defending the g6 square, and it has to do that to stop the checkmate. So how can we force the rook away from doing that with a sacrifice? Well, what Frank Melville Teed did was he played queen takes h5. Beautiful queen sacrifice. So now black only has two legal moves. It is rook g6, which can just be taken by either piece, and then that'll be checkmate, or he can take the queen, which is what he did. But then Teed replied with bishop g6 checkmate. So very nice checkmate. I like this end position here. Only 8 moves, and only the bishop that white has is doing all the heavy lifting, doing the checkmate. While look at all the black pieces that haven't been moved, and all those pawns that he moved, which could have protected the king. So be careful with those pawn moves. This is just one example out of many that I could show where pushing the pawns comes back to haunt the player that pushed those pawns. But I'll just leave it here, and I'll thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye bye.